go, well, they have their own people planted in the grand jury. Well, that's true. The interview, basically, when you apply for grand jury service, I've looked at the process, and you go through a set of interviews. They actually visit you at your home, and eventually they decide who's going to be in the grand jury pool. And then once they've pre-selected these grand jurors, they then draw randomly out and get 21 in Orange County. Okay, so that's how they select them. So basically, and it's the judges that do the initial selection. So you can see it's pretty biased. But you look at the procedure here. If we're talking common law, how does a grand jury form? Well, they elect from among themselves. There is no predefined procedure for how the election is run. They choose their own. Now think what it would be like if I could round up 25 of you guys, educate yourself in this whole process, form as a grand jury. And remember, a grand jury can be secret, because this comes back from the old days when grand juries were in opposition to the king, and they didn't want to be identified who they were. Okay? So you don't have to say who's on your grand jury, but I have a suggestion on how it should work, since it's a concept that has not been exercised anywhere in the United States and probably in the past 100 years. What I think we should do is assemble 25, make it a grand jury, establish yourself officially, go down to the court administrator. He's the guy who schedules the courtrooms, okay, and he has other responsibilities. Sometimes in some jurisdictions he's also the clerk of the court. But you go to the court administrator and you ask him to assign a room where you can meet as a grand juror. Because what will that do? That will give you credibility. If you're actually meeting in the court building. So to rebuild the strength of the grand jury, I think we should do that. Okay?
How about asking for 25 right here? I think you can probably get the grand jury.
Well, but you need to have, select among yourselves a grand jury, you know, who you're going to put on. You want whoever you trust. Okay? You want to pick your best people, because this is going to be a real delicate area. And then I would suggest that the very first case you ever take on, and you produce what's called a presentment. That's like an indictment, but it originates from within the jury instead of the DA presenting it to you, okay? You make up a presentment, but the